keep it locked. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
All right.
Hey.
What's up, Garrett?
Hey, everybody.
We did it. We're live again.
We did. I think our strikes are all off everywhere. I think our flags are all off. I think we're going to be good to go this week.
Yep. I think
So
we're
it'll be
live
nice
on.
seeing everybody again.
Yeah, we're live on like Rumble and TikTok right now, and X, YouTube.
God, you remember it's kind of funny, like 5 years ago when we did this, it was just Twitch was the big player.
Yeah.
We
Thank
tried
God
YouTube.
For X, man.
Yeah. Tried for YouTube, and they would just give you a strike just constantly.
Oh yeah. Well, if any of these things ever actually tune into our show, we'll get a lot of strikes.
You're right. But it is crazy. Just I know we keep beating this to death, but just the inflection point of Elon buying X, and he basically got ripped off at the time. He bought it kind of when the market was high, and he didn't buy. He put the offer, and the market was high, and then the market kind of crashed. It's like, oh, geez, he's paying twice as much as he should for this. But man, what a good investment that was.
Oh, we haven't even begun to see what a good investment this is going to be. Like, I think it's going to become a multimedia platform. And then, there's talks. It's going to become like PayPal,
Just not only that, that's what set the pendulum back in the U.S., at least, to more sanity. I mean, we still have people going to jail in Britain for Facebook posts that are completely nonviolent.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you really can't really say in Britain that you're against immigration without going to jail, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're starting to kind of threaten Elon even with that, saying, well, you're the one that caused some of these riots that we had here. We're looking at arrest warrants for you.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that?
It's actually super crazy. And we've said before, but I really think it's dystopian over there. It's like the UK is going far beyond what Orwell could have ever dreamed of. And
it's getting bad, yeah.
They're releasing murderers.
Scotland's not much behind. Ireland's kind of bad. Canada's getting bad too.
Dude, I had an article like 2 weeks ago that I was going to show on the show, but we never got around to it, of like somebody in England with a machete like hacked a kid to death, okay? They gave that dude like a year and 2 months, and then someone else had written a Facebook post criticizing immigration or whatever, and they gave that person like 3 years.
Wasn't that person like the kid's brother or something too?
I don't remember. I didn't look into it that much, but I was just like, what the hell is going on over there?
A sibling got killed or raped, and they caught the rapist or killer, and the sibling made a post about how disgusting it is, and the sibling got more time in prison than the rapist or murderer.
I mean, it's time for the English to, get rid of all of their politicians. They have to restart, and they have to implement a freedom of speech into their constitution.
Yeah.
And get rid of the monarchy. Do a bunch of shit while you're at it.
Is all of the DNA with any courage left on the Mayflower and the subsequent ships? Like, how scary would that be? You're putting your family on this crickety old boat, and you're going across, and you're hoping that it washes you ashore into the new land. and you have scurvy and all this shit going on, all just to leave this tyrannical government.
Right. And that's why we live in the land of the free.
That's right.
And that's why in England they're paying for TV licenses or else they go to jail. Speaking of that, I saw the BBC's ratings are plummeting too.
Are they good?
Just like we've talked about.
They don't care. The government pays for it, and it's their mouthpiece. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But if you're a big evil government, like all governments are, how much do you hate citizen journalists right now? I'm just X. Before that, how easy was it?
Yeah.
How easy was it to control everything? And you do it even like the radio waves, and you say, "Hey, public, you guys all own the radio waves together. This isn't just owned by corporations or big evil people. You all own it." Meaning, hey, we're gonna make this committee, and they're going to control what you can say and what you can do on the radio. But don't worry, because we're a democracy, that means you all own it, which means nobody owns it, of course, other than the government. And then they kind of did the same thing when TV came. And then when cable came, they did the same thing. And they tried with big tech, too. I mean...
But they had a stranglehold on it way more than they should have ever been able to do.
That's what the Twitter files showed, that they were basically a CIA asset. And I'm sure Google's the same. I'm sure Facebook's the same.
And this was all up until 2 years ago when Elon bought X.
Yes.
Elon.
And there's a reason all these evil governments are going after and hate him. There's a reason that they're brainwashing their lemmings to now think that Spaceman is bad and to go after him. Like, he was the big cool guy not too long ago, but then you can't speak out. It's like we talked about, it's a religion. You can't speak out against the woke mind virus at all. You can't speak out about trans and kids. You can't speak out about immigration. There's topics you can't touch until now in the U.S., thanks to the election, that 2 years ago we couldn't. And we were proving that. We wouldn't say anything really bad or show, and we were constantly getting banned over and over. I mean, how many viewers did we have back then? And we're getting banned constantly.
Honestly, I think you and I actually have a look into the censorship that's better than most people. Even really big names didn't understand, like... Because we were doing a show that had 6 viewers, and they would ban our show. They would delete our show off the thing, and
it's kind of when these banks debank somebody. If it's a small guy with $5,000 in his account, and he's screaming into the void, but when it happens to like Jordan Peterson or someone, then it kind of starts getting out there. And then they think, oh, God, this is getting too, let's rebank him. This is getting a little bit too brush fire.
And they lay off of him.
Yes.
So then he kind of thinks like, oh, they stepped out of line, but they know they did wrong. In the meantime, if you're a little guy, you just got completely stomped. And then they didn't give a shit. They just kept you down,
Too, that they're doing it in conjunction. They're all doing it at the same time. Because it's not like they just get debanked. Or they'd also get kicked off of Uber, and they'd also get kicked off of B&B, and they'd also get kicked out. And it's like all this stuff that has supposedly nothing to do with each other. It's like, what's the connection? Why are all these other companies, supposedly competing companies, all in on this to go and basically cancel this person?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago when Black Mirror came out, and it was the social media one where everyone's watching it horrified, terrified. It's kind of the same thing when China's like social system came up. Everyone's like, oh man, this is like, people knew that was bad, but at the same time, the governments, especially if you're in these terrible, like Europe and Canada, they're basically asking China how they're doing it. They're asking them for the technology on it. And now you also have the left, because they were the mouthpiece that was able to talk. Now you have them fighting for it. They hate it. They hate that they're citizen journalists now.
Oh, I know.
And then you're gonna see that attacks go tenfold now.
The left has got to get their shit together. Kenobi says,
"Hey, Robert,
the world banks of the UK are behind every major war in the world." Yeah, dude, that makes me think. It's
getting cranked up right now too, isn't it?
That reminds me of back when Ron Paul said, "It's no coincidence that the era of central banking is the era of constant war." I remember that quote from 15 years ago or whatever, because it's so true. These banks are funding the military-industrial complex. And so we're just in constant war.
And they're so good at this getting the left and the right to fight about stupid shit that in general doesn't really matter. Like the trans stuff is just front and center. And it's just like, this is such a small population. Just leave the kids alone and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Let's call it settled. Let's settle it there.
Leave the kids alone. You don't get to do sports. Stay out of women's bathrooms. That's it.
But they love the fact that you have the left and the right where, back in the Bush era, you had the righties then going, if you're questioning Iraq and Afghanistan, you're anti-American. And then they knew there was a real anti-war movement picking up. So then Brock goes in as the peace candidate. They gave him the peace prize before he even took power.
And then he
just expands the wars.
Yeah.
He expands the Patriot Act. He makes it way worse. In fact, he starts droning American citizens without a trial.
Yeah.
And so now you have the left that's being completely euphoric just because it's their guy. Their WWF wrestler is now in there, so they don't give a shit because it's not the other team's wrestler. And then he's going back and forth like that. And we're seeing that with the same shit that the left was rightfully saying at the time about Afghanistan and Iraq. The same shit they were saying that was right. They're now on the opposite end of that when it comes to the wars now. Like Ukraine. They're acting like if you question it, you are anti-American, you're pro-Russia, you're a Russian plant.
Right.
It's like, holy shit.
They're falling
Have
for
some
it.
self-awareness here,
Yeah.
guys.
It's really ridiculous. And it's just great evidence of the deep state and the fact that the elites are, the uniparty, the stuff about the uniparty we always talked about. The Democrats and Republicans were on the same team. It was the war team, and the big wrench in their plans is MAGA and Trump. Because they're apparently not on that war party.
And it's kind of funny. They act like, this is a cult with the personality cult leader being Trump. Well, you know what? The Republicans, or the MAGA people, they fucking hated the COVID vaccine from the beginning, and they still do. Trump will try to take credit for the Project Warp Speed, and they basically say, fuck off.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about Trump, and he still acts like it's this great thing he did. And I wish he would figure it out that it was
and it's kind of funny because
terrible.
They have no problem going against Trump on that. Right. But at the same time, the leftoids were just so quick to call these hotlines on their neighbors that were harboring Jews. Oh, no, never mind. It was for people getting together for masses or going out for some fresh air or going to the gym and being healthy.
Yeah.
Or hiding people under your floorboards.
Right.
Oh no, that's the Nazis again.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Right.
I keep forgetting because it's the exact same fucking thing.
Dude, the liberals displayed that kind of behavior to points where I didn't think they would be as bad as they were. It really made it clear to me that if push comes to shove, the Republicans will defend the Constitution. They won't rat each other out. And the liberals definitely will become tyrants who want to lock me in my basement.
It makes me wonder what would have happened if the right was in power more there, and it was the right governments that were locking people up, and not the left governments. Like, would they have rose against that?
Who, the Republicans?
The left
people?
The left have risen up like the right did? They were going to lock us down longer.
I don't know.
But Texas and Florida, DeSantis and what's his name, they basically said enough. We're done, and they did that, and the world didn't end. And then their economy started expanding, so everyone else had to follow. Like, if Texas and Florida doesn't go along with that, nothing's changed.
I know. We'd be wearing masks right now.
First, they told us it was 2 weeks. I mean, we don't have to go back to history, but 2 weeks to stop the spread. And that wasn't enough. They said, just wait until we get a vaccine. Just wait until we get a vaccine. Turns out the vaccine, at best, works for a month, 2 months.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop the spread. So nothing's
And at
changed.
worst, does a bunch of horrible shit. God knows. Yeah. We're going to find out in the coming years.
So nothing changed other than Florida Florida and Texas just said, fuck it, enough.
Yeah, thank goodness.
And I don't think, by the way, my hypothetical question is if it was the right, as in the Republican governments trying to shut everything down, they rose up, they wouldn't, because there's also part of that low testosterone, beta, porn sick, living in your basement thing where these guys loved being
Worship
a hero.
authority. Yeah.
They gotta love being the hero. They gotta stay home from work. They didn't have to go to their 8-hour day desk job where they're staring at Excel spreadsheets. They got to start doing that at home. They got to start telling themselves that they're the real heroes. And then there was this big bad guy that they were up against. And then they got to feel like superheroes as they're turning into these agoraphobics.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because they acted like the Republicans are going to be in some deep trouble. They're all dying. Who's going to vote for them
They were
now?
so wrong about that. Yeah. You know, one more thing about your point. I think that the people on the right would have risen up against the right government.
Yeah, that's my whole
just
point
like what happened.
That's my whole point. What they did with Trump, with the vaccine stuff.
Yeah.
Robert goes, the liberal media tried reining shit in with monkeypox too.
Yeah,
you remember
reigniting
what? You remember what made monkeypox disappear? Remember, they were trying to tell us it was airborne for a while.
It was probably because it was found out that it was running rampant in the gay community.
Close.
Okay. What?
We're going to step further. So they found out that it's mainly an STD, and all of a sudden, dogs and young kids started getting this in their genital areas.
Ugh. Oh God, that's
and then
disturbing.
It went away.
And then they couldn't talk about it, huh?
Yeah. Then they couldn't talk about how this was the next big thing. Because first they found out in the
they did want to make monkeypox worldwide,
and kids started getting it, and it completely went away. Well, you remember Biden even had that special commission, and he hired that really. It's so funny how the left tried to brand the right as weirdos, and especially J.D. Vance. When you look at Biden's cabinet picks and his head of different stuff, do you remember the head of the monkeypox he hired? The guy'd wear just type it in. Go to X and type it in. He'd wear those. Gay fetish clothes that would have pentagons and pentagrams on it and stuff.
Oh, I'm kind of remembering that. What should I put? Monkeypox?
Biden, head of monkeypox. It'll probably come up.
Yeah, everybody. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah. He's got a pentagram.
This is before
leather.
This is before it came out that.
Let me see if we can see
dogs were getting this in their animals and kids.
Dude, everybody Biden appointed was some kind of sexual freak.
It's so funny that they tried to use the right as the weirdos.
And they all worship
J.D. Vance
Satan.
is weird. J.D. Vance on his couch. J.D. Vance is the most normal guy in all the fucking politics. He might be a little nerdy.
I remember this video. This is the same guy. Let's play this. Yeah, here's the normal left.
You only need to put
him in the middle.
Guy really high in the government.
Yeah, put this guy in charge of health or whatever. Just a bondage, Satan worshiping weirdo. Promote him to the top.
He just had so many. Even the health secretary. It's just the people he picked. And then we get into it. She'll Trump cabinet, since we're kind of on the topic anyway.
Okay, we'll jump to.
Yeah, I know we're jumping a lot here.
We'll get into the Trump cabinet. Let me see here. Okay, yeah. Okay,
here it is. So it's complete. It's officially complete. You'll notice there's no Matt Gaetz on this list.
Oh, yeah? We haven't talked about that, have we?
No. He went through himself. I think do you know what's annoying? There's an obvious trend that the old Republican Party is dying. And the new Republican Party is MAGA. But there's
there's enough
grips in there.
Yeah.
The Republican Party, the chair of the Republican Party, until 2 years ago. Do you remember that speech Vivek gave about the chair of the Republican Party? No. God, he blasted her in the debate. Just really quick because it's a good one. Okay. It kind of makes this point. I know we're going all over the board. Yeah. But type in Vivek Republican chair debate. See if it comes up quick. He made some good points. And basically, I think she resigned after this because he just did so good.
This?
I think it's below. Go down one.
Okay.
I think it's this one. Just see if it is. We'll play a little bit of it.
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer to the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020. 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, I mean, we've got Kristen Welker here. You think the Democrats...
Elon and Rogan came out at all in favor of this.
Dude, Vivek doesn't miss, man.
Oh,
I'm a huge
Rhoda
fan of this guy.
Isn't that like Mitt Romney's like daughter or some shit too?
I have no idea who that is.
So she's like that wing of the Republican Party. And now you look at the Senate Majority Leader, it's Thune. Thune is like a never Trumper.
Right. Yeah, and that's the point you're making about the establishment Republicans. They still have some power.
Mitch McConnell, he was the minority leader, and they have a lot of power because they take the money and they pick which Senate seats to fight for, basically. And he did fucking terrible. He wasted money on like a dead seat. And at the same time, we have like in Arizona, Carrie Lake lost by like 3 votes. And he hated Carrie Lake because she's the MAGA wing. We have Trump swept the swing states. The only Senate seat that they won was Pennsylvania, and that was really close. They lost Michigan. They lost Wisconsin. And those are seats I should have won. But fucking Mitch McConnell's terrible with his money. And I think it's all because he's a kind of a never Trumper guy. I'm pretty convinced.
He's an establishment, 1,000 years old. But he actually had a really great speech somewhat recently, and I have it pulled up since you mentioned him. Okay. I happen to have this great speech. So let's let him make a case for himself here.
Look at that face.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Hang on, I got to turn it up. Because you might change your mind on if you think he's good or not.
And a string of
like, what the fuck?
Let him make his point, Garrett. He's about to win your vote.
Like, how is this okay?
Dude, we're watching a guy die standing up. Like
we're not that lucky.
Look at him. Do you remember when this happened?
Yes.
This was
like how do you just go back to business as usual?
No.
You know what? Don't believe your lying eyes.
This alone
he didn't just fucking freeze. Like they should, if we really had a media, which is crazy because he's a Republican.
Yeah.
They should be going after him. They should be saying, release your medical records. What the fuck happened there?
Well, no kidding. I mean, he obviously shouldn't be in the position he's in. And not only that, like, talk about a case for term limits.
Yeah,
Boxbar
crazy.
Boxbar says, what a dinosaur.
Hey, God. How many kids does he have? Do you know the answer?
McConnell?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
It's 0. I'm pretty sure. Like, you're fucking that old. You're 90 and you're freezing and you have nothing. You didn't pass anything on. What are you even doing? Anything you vote on, you're probably going to be dead before it even comes across. Like, just go sit on a beach somewhere and quit fucking up the country.
Right. Quit bothering us, Mitch. Hey, Miggles. Miggles says need term limits. Absolutely. This guy's going to be, he's probably going to be in power for another 30 years. He's going to be 115 by the time he resigns.
Thomas Massey, he's probably one of the greatest congressmen we've ever had. But he said, I think it was Thomas Massey. It was either him or, anyways, well, he said you don't need just term limits. You need like staff term limits because you win a seat and you get there and basically you're the freshman of the group basically, and then you have the staff members just handed to you and they're not reading these bills. These bills are 10,000 pages and they're just running shit in your steed. It's pretty bad how it's set up. And they're probably all ran by AIPAC anyway. It's pretty crazy how bad this is really set up.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway, going back.
Yeah.
No Matt Gaetz on the cabinet.
Oh, yeah. But we got some other people. I mean, it looks like that Pete Hegseth is he going to be confirmed?
I don't know.
Because I've seen he's got some scandals.
Yeah. Doug Burgum. Like, there's some weird picks here, which I think, we knew there would be, but they're way, way, way better than they were. Do you know what? Go to the next page I sent you.
Okay.
Here's the crazy thing. Trump's this is from YouGov poll from YouGov. YouGov is the one that had Kamala winning by like 5 or 6 percentage points nationally. And they had her basically sweeping the swing states. So if they're saying this, I don't know how high this really is, but this is basically Trump's approval rate. He's never been more popular ever. How crazy is
That's
this?
awesome.
He hasn't taken power, and they're trying to act like the media and that weird part of TikTok, the blue part of TikTok, they're trying to act like, oh man, the Republicans, the people, not Republicans, the people already have buyer's remorse. They're fuck around, find out. There's buyer's remorse when it's the exact opposite.
Dude, the people are excited.
Yeah, we have 60% of voters excited about this. That is crazy. We'll probably never see another politician, I don't think, with 60% approval rating.
You know,
just by how separated everything is right now, and just how contentious it is. This blows my mind.
Dude, that's what I was just going to say is like, I bet it keeps going up because as we've talked about the media losing all its power, they're not going to be able to brainwash as many people. And the leftists who kind of will go with the crowd a lot, they're starting to go like, oh my gosh, we're actually in the minority. We thought we were in the majority. And everything we've been told was huge lies. And they might start going with the crowd that likes Trump. And all of a sudden, you're going to see this number go up to 75%.
Go to the next one. Go to the next slide I sent.
Okay.
This one's even crazier. Oh, man. You not have it? No. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, that's it. You're right. Sorry about that. This is the adults under 30. 65% to 35%.
Dude, God bless these young
2 to 1 of adults under 30. It used to be the sweet spot for liberals. That used to be their powerhouse. Adults under 30, 2 to 1 think that this is going good.
Man, that gives me hope for the future, dude. It really does.
It's kind of crazy. And, I think that we talked about how the left and the right, the old left and right was the same team. Did you see where, speaking of Mitch McConnell, did you see where after a vote, he goes up to Nancy Pelosi and they fist bump?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
How weird. Like, how weird is it? They act like they hate each other.
Right.
Just like these wrestlers do.
That's the
like
uniparty type stuff.
Andre the Giant. They don't really hate each other. But they're fleecing the American people because they own the airways and they own the mouthpieces. And so idiots believe it. Like, this is our most important election of our lifetime. We're never have another election if that team wins. Oh man, this is so bad.
Yeah.
And the people can fall for it every fucking time. At the same time, they're all just getting rich off your backs and fist bumping and giving these giant fucking wasteful contracts to their friends. And they're selling a bolt to their friends or a screw. They're paying $50,000, $60,000 for it.
Right.
Can you imagine that? Let's say you're a hardworking
Doge
guy.
is going to fix that.
You're working your ass off. And you pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 taxes that year. And it goes to pay for one screw because you're getting screwed by the government. How fucking insulting is that?
Oh, it's a crime.
They really need to just throw people in jail over that shit, too.
I wish.
Yeah. And it's just really insulting how that's happening. And, the Doge thing was much needed, and that's how he gets super popular. You cut all this stuff. He's talking about a flat tax, getting rid of the IRS. There's so much shit you can cut there. And any economist worth their salt that's not named Paul Krugman would tell you the less government spending, the less wasteful spending you have, the lower inflation is. It's a very simple formula.
Oh yeah.
That people just act like, we'll just keep printing money. Fuck it. We'll just keep going into debt. Fuck it.
I've said every show for the past 5 shows that I think that's the biggest thing Trump's going to do is the Department of Government Efficiency. Yeah. I think him and Elon and
that might be his legacy.
Ron Paul and Vivek. Yeah, I think it's gonna be so good for America.
You know what? Before we get into this too much, go to the next video I sent you and hear this speech about Trump.
Okay. Hey, let me read this comment. Kenobi says, Trump is so popular, the liberal media is even restructuring it. He's right, though. Yeah, they are. This one? Or what?
No. Nope, go to the next one. There we go. Play this.
Okay.
This is Trump talking at the Libertarian National Convention. By the way, I was loading up. I'll just say they invited all candidates to come and talk to this. Obviously, the Libertarian candidate did. RFK did. Trump did. The only candidate that said no was Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Do you know, by the way, they're supposedly looking at running her in 2028?
They have no one else. We've talked for a long time about that, too. The Democrats have nobody, dude.
If they run her, I will take a second mortgage on my house and throw it on JD Vance.
Me too.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd like to start making bets now on that.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
U.S. history that a presidential candidate of a rival party will address the convention of a party that is presumably gathering to nominate its own candidate. Now I think you should nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together.
He got a
There's
mixed.
one thing libertarians are is they are just, I'm saying this as a libertarian, they're a bunch of fucking losers, you know? They lose every election. They do a terrible job on shit. They get to be so purist.
Well, they end up nominating shit candidates too.
Yeah, the Bill Weld, when he was the VP during, this is when Clinton ran against Trump. And supposedly at the time, the two most unpopular candidates ever in American history run against each other. Gary Johnson picks Bill Weld to run with him. Bill Weld, in the middle of it, before the election gets here, throws his support behind Hillary Clinton as he's running.
Yeah,
he's
during
not
an election.
Serious. Yeah, he says, you guys should all vote for not me, but Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
So I was completely done. Like, fuck these guys.
It
I'm
would've
done
been-
with you guys. You guys are a bunch of losers. I'm canceling my subscription to Reason Magazine. I'm done paying your dues. I'm still registered as a libertarian.
It would have been pretty inappropriate for Tim Walz to endorse Trump.
Yeah.
Miguel said, who is going to protect us from toaster licenses? God, I love that
Yeah,
toaster
and even
libertarian
Ron
thing.
Paul, I'm a libertarian. We haven't been worth their shit since. And even Ron Paul ran as a Republican. He did it for a reason. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, if I picked a group, I would definitely be libertarian. I think that the libertarian philosophy of small government and freedom is for sure what it should be.
You know, I got to say, though, I've said this before, there are a couple issues where after I've seen them come to fruition,
You're starting to be more conservative.
The way it is, you can't do open borders with our nanny state. You can't do open borders. You have to have a closed border, and you have to be strict. And even, I hate to say it, I used to be thinking that, like, you need to make all drugs legal. All drugs have to be legal. The government doesn't own your consciousness. But then you see some of these areas that even have, like, God damn, you go walk around San Francisco, you're like, oh, God, fuck. I don't know if I really think that needs to be out there anymore.
I'd have to think about it.
I know.
It's like they encourage the drug use in bad ways, though.
I used to really laugh and make fun of, like, the slippery slope argument. And it's just like, God damn, quit trying to trans our kids. Quit trying to change. Quit trying to go to the women's locker room.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff like that is like, I used to think economically I'm more Republican. Socially, I'm more Democrat. Socially, I'm not Democrat.
Me neither.
All.
They're insane. The Democrats are literally insane.
And
so I'm not
social
that.
issues are one of my biggest issues.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. The
So I
social
can't
issues.
say that anymore.
No.
You know, but I always beat up the left about how they're purists and they kick people out if you start to think biology's real, you're fucking gone. Libertarians are kind of like that too. There's a big schism there. We could always do a weird niche show on that. They had a crazy, like, this convention he's at got fucking crazy. And then they picked Chase Oliver, who was a masker that he says the right things now, but there's pictures of him at gay pride parades with masks.
Yeah. Kenobi says, agree. I used to support legal drugs, but now seeing the human condition part of things. Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. It does seem to take a toll on society.
We need an income level or something. Because
you got to be a functioning heroin user.
Did
you want to play the rest of this?
I'm just trying to set the scene of where Trump.
You heard those words. Nominate me or vote. Vote for me. because the libertarians want to vote for me, and most of them will, and it's very important, because we have to get rid of the worst president in history, and together we will. And without it, there's a risk that we could have 4 more years, we won't have a country left. So what is the purpose of the Libertarian Party getting 3%? What is the reason to take a chance of having this horrible president destroy our country, which he will do in far less than 4 years? It's not going to take 4 years. That is why I'm committing to you tonight that I will put a libertarian in my cabinet and also libertarians in senior posts. Pretty good.
I mean, that is a pretty. He made
That would
a
be pretty good.
straightforward promise there.
That would be pretty good.
Did he uphold that promise, Garrett?
If you could point to me in that list, the county members are filled. If you could point to me in that list, someone that's a libertarian, because I sure the fuck can't.
Nope, me neither. It looks like some politicking to me.
like
Basically lying to get
I
votes.
don't like that at all.
I don't either. I don't, because it would have been so simple to uphold that promise.
Yes. You have a party that, I mean, he's even saying it here. Most of you guys are going to vote for me anyway. Find a libertarian that you trust in just one of those departments.
Yeah.
Just one of them.
I think he should have.
A financial one.
Yeah.
They're great on financial shit.
No
Put
shit.
a libertarian
That's what we
in
need
one of
in
those.
financial stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He didn't uphold that promise. If you
No.
ask me.
You know, I've been seeing people try to work. There's more. Keep playing. I've seen people trying to work themselves into pretzels going, well, you've got, and he said an actual libertarian. And there's not a single person on that list that would call themselves a libertarian. But yeah, keep playing it. He makes some more promises here.
That's pretty big. Or you can keep going the way you have for the last long decades and get your 3% and meet again and get another 3%. No, you want to make yourself winners. It's time to be winners. You have a lot of common sense. It's time to be winners. So I'm asking for the liberation. Well, think of it. I'm asking for the Libertarian Party's endorsement, or at least lots of your votes, lots and lots of Libertarian votes, based on my 4-year, very outstanding presidential record.
I am.
There's supposed to be more.
I woke up to a new friend.
Sorry. I thought I had the longer one, but then he goes on to promise to release first day one. He said he's pardoning that Russ Ulbricht, or how you say his name.
Oh yeah, the Silk Road guy.
That one still better fucking happen, man.
Yeah, I bet he
If that
will. I
doesn't
feel like he
happen,
will.
He also says the January 6ers he's going to do it for, and any political prisoners. So he makes a couple other promises. And he just better for real on those ones. I just fucking hate that there's not a libertarian in this cabinet. How great would that have been? You're like, oh,
yeah,
look, this
and
guy
a
held
simple
his
thing
promise.
to do. He should have done.
Yes. Yep.
Well, Garrett, it's already been 40 minutes. I want to get to some other stuff. And
Okay.
we brought up social issues and why the Democrats have gone completely
And that's
insane.
obviously maybe he thinks Vivek is, but if you'd ask Vivek, he'd say, "No, I'm not a libertarian." You know,
Yeah. Well,
that's the problem.
although Vivek might be a libertarian.
He says he's not.
He says he's a Republican or a conservative.
I think they've asked him, and
Okay, but I want to get into this issue, which I have labeled up here in our topic sidebar, trans violence. And it's part of, we talked about the social issues, the left being fucking insane. And in the news recently, Representative Nancy Mace has made big news because she has put a bill into Congress to make women's bathrooms only for women. Can you imagine that? Yeah,
you're a little confused on this one. She's doing it just for the halls of Congress.
Oh, okay, just for the halls,
You know
just
why?
for Congress. Why?
Yeah, because there's a congressman that.
Oh,
was
yeah.
a guy.
Right,
and
there's
now
a
he's
trans congressman.
Yeah. There's a trans congressman. So she's just doing it in the halls of Congress. That's not a nationwide bill.
Okay.
I'm almost sure.
Right,
I'm almost.
right. No,
maybe
you're right.
Maybe I should not have. Maybe I should have researched that before I corrected you. But I'm kind of.
No, I think you're
that's what I
right.
thought.
It is just for apparently for Congress.
I think so,
But that's
yeah.
a good first step, if you ask me. And she should women should have the right to their own spaces, man.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about you're already, if you're a male with male chromosomes and you're willing to go into women's spaces, you're already violating the women in those spaces.
Dude, I
So you're
love that
already-
point you make.
You're
You
already
made that
taking
point
that
before.
big step. You're already a violator.
Yeah, you're
Just by
already
going-
proving you don't give a shit what
Yes.
what they feel or how they
Yep.
feel. You're willing to impose yourself upon them.
Do you-
And what
you know
else?
what's a-
And what else will you do? You know,
Yeah.
and
You know
also
what's
it's just
speaking-
violation.
You said what else you do? Do you know what's a really, really weird coincidence? This coincidence blows my mind.
Okay.
That trans women have the same level of violent crime as not women but men. Isn't that a little bit weird?
No way. The
Trans
same
women,
as
trans
men.
women are just as likely to be violent criminals or sex offenders as men.
As men. Oh
But
wow,
you'd
that's
think that for
shocking.
trans women, they would have the same as women. But
You know,
it's
you
just a
say
weird
that.
coincidence.
You say that, but I actually think you're wrong. It's actually far more than the average man. I think that trans women, I always get confused when I start talking about dudes pretending to be women. I think will have higher levels than the average man of sexual abuse, rape, violent crime. And that's because they're mentally deranged at a higher rate. They're just, and they're already willing to be socially unacceptable. So I'm just sure I'm right about that. I have no stats.
You might be. I'm just seeing that it equals.
It's at
men,
least
but-
equal to men or worse than the average man. And I would bet money it's going to be worse. Particularly because, and this is a point I'm going to make in a second, but the trans community has a tilt towards violence, just like the incel community does. The incel community.
You've heard of the trans cell pipeline, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. For people that don't know, a lot of the male to female crowd, they start at the incel part and they get to the trans part.
Right. First
It's
they're
a huge
incels
thing.
for a while. They start hating
It's a
women.
huge thing in their community, and they call it the trans cell
and then they
pipeline.
become trans. Which is no surprise to me at all. But okay,
Could you think of a worse thing to be called than an incel? That's just the worst. That's the worst insult, basically. You can throw at somebody, and I think we've talked too about how the left loves to just make words mean whatever they want.
Yeah.
And they'll call guys now that will have multiple kids and sleep with multiple women, and they'll try to call them incels just because it's a terrible thing to call someone. So there's that person's not being super nice to this girl or doesn't hold super third wave feminist ideas. What an incel. And then it's like Elon with 38 kids.
They're calling him an
God
incel.
damn it. Just words mean nothing to you guys anymore.
Oh yeah, but you reminded me of the point I was going to make. In the incel community on Reddit, when they speak to each other, they speak where they'll say these women only like Chad. They'll never sleep with me. And then they'll say they are whores who deserve to have their throats slit. In the violent rhetoric in the incel community is and was very high. And that led to a couple of mass shootings where incels killing women. I watched a whole documentary on YouTube about it because they've essentially become radicalized in their community. Okay. And they exhort violence. They say it's good. Okay. And that was part of the incel community. Well, that same thing is happening and is in the trans community. They say I went to a coffee shop and the guy who handed me a coffee said, "Here's your coffee, sir." And I wanted to come back in there and stab him in the face. That's how they speak about that all the time. It's really disturbing, dude.
It's a trans female that goes and does lives at restaurants and waits for waiters to say "sir" or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then gets super offended and will get up and leave and ask to talk to their manager.
Right. That's how they are, dude. They act as though it's some kind of assault on them. And they'll say, they even say if you call me sir, that's violence against me. And, if someone commits violence against you, you have a right to self-defense. And so this is how it's how they twist words.
You could punch a Nazi.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Now, okay. So
Nazi will be anything I decide.
Right.
If you're
anyone who disagrees with me,
if you're against Israelis, if you're not for Gaza, you're a Nazi.
Now,
even though the Jews are on your side, I'm going to punch you.
Right.
Anything you call it.
Now, some left-leaning people who may have just watched my big rant about the violent trans community would probably say, no, I'm being a hateful transphobe or something. And just to make my point, I want to show this trans person who has been calling for the assassination of J.K. Rowling and Nancy Mace. And so let's play. There's just 2 videos. They're both about 2 minutes long. I want to play it.
To Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty little hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead.
Okay.
Pretty feminine there.
Yeah. What a beautiful lady, says Adam.
So.
Now, how about that? I mean, the guy just said he wants to go into a bathroom, bash Nancy Mace's head into the bathroom floor, and kill her.
For the mortal sin of wanting female-only spaces.
Exactly. Like, what a psycho, dude. All right, I'm going to let it keep going.
Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
Here she goes. Here's Congress.
That's the Nancy Mace one. Now I'm going to play the J.K. Rowling one. Let me see here. Here it is. This is 1 minute.
And why is J.K. Rowling still alive? We should be focusing our efforts and our resources not on assassinating Trump, but instead on assassinating J.K. Rowling. That fucking wench needs to die. She needs to burn on the stake and die. I condone murder. I condone it. I think that we need to hold our politicians accountable by murdering them. And I think we need to hold J.K. Rowling accountable by murdering her too. And I'm so very serious about this. I'm so passionately serious about this. I think that we should just all come together and murder everyone. I think, things would be better, we would just be so much happier in life if us as trans people just came together and murdered a bunch of people. I think that really would, solve all of our problems.
I don't think this dude is being funny or tongue-in-cheek, ha, ha, ha. I think he's, basically advocating for murder and assassination. And maybe he's pretending to be a little bit joking, but he should be arrested, dude.
Must be the time of the month. Have you seen that? Where they'll have, videos of, I'm getting my period.
I know, they all pretend like they have periods. I mean, they're just nuts, dude. But Miggles, that's a funny comment by Miggles. Must be the time of the month. But, dude, I really dislike this video where he's calling for J.K. Rowling's assassination. And she gets so many death threats from these psychos.
I'm surprised that she's as vocal as she is on this issue.
That's because she's a brave hero, dude.
Yeah.
Her, also Mary-Kate Delvey, who is someone on X who I really admire because she stands up for women. She gets constant death threats. Nancy Mace has been getting lots of death threats. And I'm just trying to make the point that the trans community has this undertone of violence, which is really disturbing. And it doesn't endear people to their community. They should really work on that.
Yep.
Kenobi says, but the right incites violence. That's what they always accuse us of. Then he says,
it's like the right of the weirdos.
Right.
They're the weird ones.
A nice high dose of lithium would fix a lot of these psychopaths. Yeah, their medication's not working, I'll tell you that. And it just disturbs me, dude. I really think, he had to have committed some crime here, right? Is it okay to just call for assassinations? Say I want people murdered and to die, and I want to meet them in a bathroom and smash their head in the ground? Like, isn't that a crime?
I would think so.
Please arrest this dude before he hurts somebody. Like, I think these people legitimately are violent. The violent threats they make aren't funny, you know? And if he goes and hurts, if somebody goes and kills J.K. Rowling, that will be a travesty, man. So it really pisses me off. Boxbar, this is protected by free speech. Sadly, this freak probably hates the First Amendment as much as his dad.
What dad?
You know, it probably is protected by free speech because he didn't specifically say, like, I'm going to kill somebody. But he did say he wants to. He said he hopes people do. I don't know. It's got to be treading some kind of line. Obviously, I'm a free speech absolutist. But calls for violence are not protected speech. And saying, like, hey, let's all go kill J.K. Rowling, that's not protected speech. I don't think. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. I really dislike that. People are comparing him to Buffalo Bill.
There are some common features there, yeah.
Let me play this 30-second video of Nancy Mace.
So what is this?
This says you can't erase us, Nancy. Well, then you shouldn't try to erase women. That's what I have to say for any man that wants to be in a woman's restroom, bathroom, dressing room, locker room. Absolutely not.
What a weird hill to die on for the leftists, too.
I know. Well,
did you see the thing in Canada where, like, it was a swimming meet for, like, teen and preteen girls, and some guy said that he is not only trans, but he identifies that age. They let him compete and change with these young girls?
Yeah.
What in the fuck?
He was like a 40-year-old man, and he said he wanted to compete with a 15-year-old.
With a bunch of preteen girls.
You know, I think it's great. I think the trans ageists, the guys who say he's like a 60-year-old and he says I'm actually 3, I'm 3 years old, and the government should identify me that way and shit. I think that they have as valid a point as dudes saying they're women.
It's what's funny when they do like
insane and
the
wrong.
Transracial stuff. Right away, that scares the woke leftists. They know if they say the wrong thing, they're getting canceled. But that one, there's more of an argument
I love
about.
that one.
There's more of an argument about it.
Absolutely.
Because you get into DNA and we're all just the same.
Right. And what is white? What exactly is brown?
So that one actually has some merit to it.
Yeah, that would, you know, the idea of like gender's a social construct. Well, I don't believe that. Biological sex is obviously true. XY and XX chromosomes.
Male and female.
Male
different.
and female. There's no doubt. But if you start to say race is a social construct, you start to have some pretty like, maybe it is. Like, where is the line, you know?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, the trans ageists, the transracial people, I love it because they put the spotlight on how ridiculous the trans sexists are and what a joke it is, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. That's kind of what I wanted to say about that issue, Garrett. I've wanted to go on that rant for a while.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, unless we get banned now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should switch and do World War III.
Okay.
Unless you had something you wanted to bring up.
No. You know, we're going long again. We got to get to the Barron Trump stuff. Speaking of Trump.
Well, let's do quick World War III then and just talk about what's going on. Here's a 14-second video, which I think is kind of a cool video.
This is what's scary about a lame duck president like this, where he's not even a president. You know he's not there. He's so not there that they had to have him drop out of the presidential election that they basically admitted, hey, he's not confident enough to run against Trump, but he's confident enough to be the president.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason they're saying that is because he's just a rubber stamp. I mean, there's videos of him literally saying when he's signing bills,
what am I signing
here?
Yeah.
Like, they are going to try to drag us into something that can't be drug out of, or very hard to drug out of.
They're trying.
We have until January 6th, basically. I mean, that's a That's a lifetime
plenty of time.
from now. Yes.
Yeah, it really looks like they're heating up World War III.
Would you see even just like yesterday today, they act like they're going to give Ukraine their nukes.
Yeah, I know. I've got some articles about it. Let me show this as the lead in. I'm going to hide our cameras. And it's just an AI video, but I think it's pretty good.
You know what's crazy about that is, I've talked about this too. We're in a ton of debt, obviously. 25% of your tax dollars go to paying the interest payments to our debt. Just the interest payments. 25%. So a fourth of everything you're working for, taken away for taxes, so a fourth of a half goes to just the interest payments. But at the same time, we somehow fund Israel so much. They have this Iron Dome set up with your tax dollars, and there's no Iron Dome here. I get it. There's a bigger area to cover.
Yeah.
But
if we weren't wasting all our money, we could have a strong defense.
Really have an America first
policy.
Kidding. And that's what Trump kind of says, that he's going to look at doing an Iron Dome for the U.S. That makes sense to me. That makes more sense to me than having our troops in other countries right now. Pull every troop home to the U.S.
Yep.
Every single one of them. Divert that fund, because most of the money goes to the defense anyway. Defense or nanny state, we still going to cut that. Use that to get us an Iron Dome.
For sure. If we spent our money on a strong national defense instead of imperialism, we could have such a good, strong nation.
And it would probably be a fraction of what they're spending right now.
Yeah, it's such a crime what's been done to us in our country.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's a big part of it. Blinken.
Yep. Here's the headline: the Biden administration may return nuclear weapons to Ukraine. So this we just announced that the Biden administration is talking about giving nukes back to Ukraine really quick. They got to hurry up and do it before Trump gets in there.
We have separation of powers for a reason. The president can't declare war, so they just get around it by calling it not war, just battles, whatever. But this is something that shouldn't have to go to Congress. This shouldn't be something that a lame duck president, who's not even really your president, could just rubber stamp.
Yeah.
Really, really disgusting.
Let me read this, dude. It says here, this is some article from MSN.com. President Joe Biden has already authorized Ukraine to use ATACMS missiles for strikes on Russian territory. Additionally, it was confirmed that Ukraine will receive U.S.-made anti-personnel mines. The Biden administration seeks to provide Ukraine with as much assistance as possible before Trump takes office. This includes $7 billion in weapons and ammunition from Pentagon stockpiles and an additional $2 billion for producing new weapons from U.S. contractors. And then it goes on to mention maybe giving them nuclear weapons, which also is in this article by the New York Times. But anyway, just last week, Biden authorized Ukraine to fire our long-range missiles into Russia, which is like, it's like a war. It's almost like a declaration of war from us. We're not supposed to be able to do that. That's why we haven't been doing it the whole time.
It's a travesty what the U.S., and they act like it's anti-U.S. to be against this war. So like, well, it could stop at any time if Russia would just stop fighting. Yeah, but we're forcefully basically throwing Ukrainian young men, whole generations of men, into this meat grinder that they have zero chance of winning.
Yeah, it's just horrible.
Zero. Yeah. There's no path to victory for Ukraine here.
Yeah.
They've got to figure this out.
Ukraine's lost hundreds of thousands or millions of men.
And I think they basically have a conscription going on, and they're arresting people that are speaking out against the government. Gonzalo Lira, they killed him. He's an American reporter. They killed because he was against this war. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I remember that. It's absolutely crazy, and no one ever talks about it. Nobody brings it up.
Where's CNN talking about this, or Fox News, or anybody saying, hey, you just killed an American citizen reporter for reporting?
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's the stuff they accuse Russia of doing, and they're doing it, and it doesn't even make a blip.
Right. I actually have a clip of Putin. Oh, actually, we should play this Matt Gaetz clip here. It's only 39 seconds, and he kind of talks about. I'll just let him say it.
I kind of hate that he stepped away, by the way.
Yeah, I think he would have been a strong attorney general.
I think that the reason we are as involved in Ukraine as we are is because Afghanistan wound down. And if we still had Afghanistan to launder money through, there probably wouldn't be the need for this type of excessive involvement in Ukraine. But I think we can look at Afghanistan and we can look at what's going on here and say what a lot of these defense contractors are pushing toward is how to have an extended kind of low yield war. Like if there's a way to stretch this thing out, turn it into a 20, 30 year kind of thing where there's a whole lot of money moving around and unaccountable pots and a lot of weapons getting bought. And then, oh man, the stockpiles, well, we got to spend more money to reload those.
I think that's an interesting point, don't you?
I think it's common sense. That's what's happening.
It's what they want. They want a never-ending 50-year war.
They don't want to be given millions of dollars to produce missiles. Yeah. And they're acting like, well, it's not you on the front lines. If you cut these off, there's going to be your kids in the front lines. The fuck it is. Russia's not coming to the U.S.
Yeah, dude. No shit. Putin is on record saying he will end it if Ukraine agrees to a deal. Yep.
And there's rumors that Ukraine was going to be okay with a deal, and the U.S. basically won't let them do it.
You know, I've got a clip here of Putin talking about these missiles, and he basically says, you know, it's an act of war from NATO and the United States. And I think he makes a good point. But I also think that, like, just like when bin Laden said that he attacked America because we were over there blowing them up for 20 years and shit, and everyone said, don't listen to him, don't...
It's because they hate our freedom.
Right. It's because they hate our freedom.
They told us. And people believed it.
Right. I think that we should listen to what they say the reason they're doing wars is. Doesn't mean you have to believe it, but you should at least listen to it. You know what I mean? Is it true? Can you... But instead they just go, oh, no, plug your ears.
You're listening to him? You're a Russian asset.
Exactly, dude. I really hate that idea. And it's really
well, you remember when Tucker Carlson went and talked to him, people lost their minds over it.
Right. One thing with the election is that there will be war either way. Dems, Ukraine, Republicans, Israel. Yeah, I mean, see, it looks like World War III might be on the horizon no matter what happens, which is too bad. The warmongers win no matter what. Yeah, I don't 100% trust that Trump will keep us out of World War III. I think he will better than anyone else, but
I also trust him as much as I trust him to put a libertarian in his cabinet.
Yeah. Let me play this by Putin. It's just a minute. He's saying the missile strike had to use these satellites from the U.S. or NATO.
Второе, и очень важное, может быть ключевое, заключается в том, что полетные задания в эти ракетные системы могут, по сути, вносить только военнослужащие стран НАТО. Украинские военнослужащие делать это не могут. И поэтому речь идет не о том, чтобы разрешать украинскому режиму наносить удары по России этим оружием или не разрешать. Речь идет о том, чтобы принять решение о том, что страны НАТО напрямую участвуют в военном конфликте или нет. Если это решение будет принято, это будет означать не что иное, как прямое участие стран НАТО, Соединенных Штатов, европейских стран в войне на Украине. Это их прямое участие. И это уже, конечно, существенным образом меняет саму суть, саму природу конфликта. Это будет означать, что страны НАТО, США, европейские страны воюют с Россией. А если это так, то, имея в виду изменение самой сути этого конфликта, мы будем принимать соответствующие решения, исходя из тех угроз, которые нам будут создаваться.
Okay,
everyone acts like the rest of the world acts like they're pissed off that the United States is the world police, but they demand it in this case.
Yeah, good point.
Europe should, if Europe is really worried about this, they should be going and doing this, not the U.S.
Yeah. But, you know,
we're too much debt. We should stay out of this.
For sure, we shouldn't be.
Ukraine
is not a NATO country. We're
Yep.
not in a military alliance with Ukraine.
Yeah, we're not in alliance with them.
So,
they're in a corrupt country, too.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they acted like, Zelensky acted like, I'll be dead by the morning. You're asking me if I want to get flown out of my country. I don't want to leave, but I'll be dead by the morning. That was years ago. I'm surprised you're still alive if you were so sure you were going to be dead. That really act like he's going to be in the front lines. They showed pictures of him like body armor.
Yeah, wearing camo.
And you had so many liberals were going, oh, he's such a hero. Why can't we have a young president that just puts it all on the line like this?
Yeah. But I just
there's going to be a lot of dead men from Ukraine, and it's not going to be Zelensky, by the way.
Well, yeah, I know. It already is. It's already millions of dead men, I think, and Zelensky's doing fine. He's starting a mountain of cocaine right now. But I want to point out what Putin said there, which is basically that the use of the long-range missiles, which the Ukraine sent long-range missiles into Russia and targeted an ammunition factory like last Tuesday, okay? That act, basically Putin said, look, Ukrainians can't do that. They'd have to use UN satellites or US satellites. Also, they can't fly the missiles. Has to be a U.S. or UN service member to do that. And so that is essentially direct involvement by the UN or by the United States in the war against Russia. And so all of a sudden, it looks like, the U.S. is, we're sort of, it's almost, it's such a huge escalation of this war. Because it looks like it involves us and NATO now in a war with Russia. And that's not very cool.
Day one when Trump is president. You saw that where he's standing there with Zelensky and him and Zelensky are talking. He's almost taking pot shots at Zelensky. He's basically it has to go both ways.
He said we're going to end it with peace talks.
And he's like, a relationship goes both ways, meaning that it's one-sided what's happening right now.
Absolutely. Yep. Let me read these last few comments by Kenobi. He says, people need to research what Ukraine was doing to the Russian Donbas region for years.
Speaks Russian. People act like people are forgetting just how corrupt Ukraine as a country is. Just because now, when it comes to that WWF thing, they're the good guys. And they're good guys to the left.
They can do no wrong.
Because Russia hacked our election and got Trump elected.
Yep.
That's what it is.
What would the U.S. do if Canada sent long-range missiles from Russia into the U.S.? Yeah, we would act accordingly.
Or China puts long-range missiles on the border with Mexico. Like, what would be like? Okay, fine.
So I think we're making a good case of how this is Biden escalating the war in Ukraine right before
Biden's handlers.
The military-industrial complex.
Yes.
And it's really kind of scary stuff. It's disturbing, and it shouldn't be happening.
Sure. Man, Joe Rogan kind of says something different, and boy, are some people online going after him right now.
Dude, I have that clip, actually.
They are going after him.
Let me see. This, let's let him say it. He basically says what we say.
It's the world we're living in now, and that's L.A., and that's New York, and that's a lot of places that got fucked up by incompetent people.
I don't know. I just feel safer knowing,
Pull this microphone with your face.
I feel safer knowing that Trump is in office.
I do too.
I feel great about it.
What I don't feel safer is right now they're launching missiles into Russia.
Yeah.
How are you allowed to do that when you're on the way out? Like, the people don't want you to be there anymore. There should be some sort of a pause for significant actions that could potentially start World War III. Maybe that would be a good thing that we would like to avoid from a dying former president.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole thing is nuts.
I mean, look.
I mean, that's a good point, huh? We made that point on our last show.
They roasting him right now, by the way. They're going after him for that.
Yeah, of course.
But the media's dying, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
I think we should save the Baron Trump till later, because it's going to be a 30-minute segment, probably.
Okay.
But I also think you should play that clip where they're pissed off that Elon said that the citizens are the media now, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, we'll cover
This
that.
kind of goes with it.
That's this. Yeah, okay. This is the Axios CEO, Jim Vandehey. And he did a rant yesterday.
Matters. Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media. You are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter any more than me looking at your head and seeing that you have a brain and telling you I have an awesome set of tools makes me a damn neurosurgeon, right? Like what we do, what journalists do, what you did in Mississippi, what Al Jazeera does in the Middle East. You don't proclaim yourself to be a reporter. Like that's nonsense. Like being a reporter's hard, really hard.
That's why we don't have it.
You have to care. You have to do the hard work.
What reporters did to the Russian dossier.
Yeah.
What reporters did to the Barrington Declaration. What reporters did to the origins of coronavirus. What reporters did to the lockdowns. What reporters did to Russians hacking our election. Yeah. Like the reporters are wrong so much.
They're just liars and they're corrupt.
Everything wrong when it comes to Russia. They've gotten everything wrong when it comes to the coronavirus. They are wrong.
The war in Iraq. Right. They've been wrong for 50 years.
And, for so long, they did hold so much power. And they're seeing it just melt away. Not even slip away. This is melting away so fast.
Yeah.
And I think they're all very scared. And then you have this fake tough guy up there cussing and acting bad, making such a dumb point.
Yeah,
a terrible point.
Yeah, he's a horse salesman saying cars aren't going to be a big deal.
That's exactly what this is.
The writing's on the wall, buddy. You're done.
This is Paul Krugman saying the internet's not the future. Fax machines are the future.
Yeah.
He legit said that. Rogers was mad out making $25 million a year for record low viewership. It's hard. She took a pay cut by millions, I believe.
She was making $25 million though.
Yeah,
wow.
She might be one of the most highest paid reporters.
That's crazy.
I know.
Is that why she owns the Dallas Mavericks? Get it,
Must
Garrett?
be. I know.
All right.
You have to get up every single day and say, I want to get to the closest approximation of the truth without any fear, without any favoritism.
Oh my God! I can't believe he said that with a straight face.
Yeah, it's never happened. That has never happened.
As though the legacy media doesn't have favoritism, or they're as far from the truth as you can possibly get.
That is literally why you guys are all in trouble and you're going to be a dying breed.
Yeah,
that's the reason.
Right, that's why
you're almost self-aware.
Citizen
almost
journalism.
there.
Yeah.
You don't do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
Hard work. What a liar.
Come on, slow clap there.
Look at this.
First of all, I've got to say.
Fucking nobody's.
Yeah, these are the other beeper salesmen. Yeah, beepers. Pagers are where it's at. What a joke. I love that, all of these people are losing their jobs, and soon we won't have to listen to them ever again.
They're clapping
and it's great.
for that.
Yeah, they're trying to act like it's
extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said. When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything up and down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do.
How fucking crazy does he look, by the way?
Who, Sharpton? Or Yeah. Adam and Stove said, is that E.T. on the right? That's funny. It looks like
Didn't
E.T.
he get like the lap band surgery or something like that?
Yeah, I think he did. He lost.
He might as well have stayed fat rather than looking like a fucking.
He looks strange. But dude, I love that these people are on their last breaths. Learn to mine coal. That's what I say to them, because they're out.
You know, we might be able to power through the Barron Trump stuff.
Do we have time? I mean, I'm happy to go for it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
All right, let's show
It's
the
a
Barron
funny
Trump.
one to end. It's a lighthearted one to end the show on. Let's put it that way.
Okay, let me.
So I can't believe you haven't seen this, by the way.
I haven't seen any of this. E.T. would have paid his taxes.
He did get some trouble for that. Or I don't know if he got in trouble. He got away with it. So I can't believe you haven't seen this, but Barron Trump is going. God dang, we have so much to cover. Start with this one. We're only going to get so much in. But here is a clip that kind of got unearthed lately.
Okay.
I have a suspicion they tried to. There was an obvious pushback against celebrity. You know, so many celebrities came out for Kamala, and there seemed to be a really big pushback against it because they're not fucking worried about buying groceries and all that stuff.
Right.
They're paying just millions of dollars for these celebrity endorsements, and they did nothing. I kind of think, they always talk about how nobody knows what Barron sounds like, and Barron doesn't talk. 5 years ago,
I feel like I've never heard Barron talk.
Yeah, I don't think it is. And 5 years ago, they're making fun of him, saying he must be autistic and stuff. But they unearthed this, and I think they were doing this to make fun of Barron and the Trumps, by the way. But go ahead and play it. It's going huge. This is going.
This is going huge.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
I like my suitcase. I have to go to school now.
Yeah, you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah, first you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now you can do reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Okay, seemed like a happy little kid.
Accent. Yeah, he's an accent there. And I think they did that to like make fun of him. But it's going viral. Go to the next video. It kind of shows you a little bit. This is what made it really go viral. They turned it into a song. And now TikTok is just full of people doing all sorts of shit to this song now.
Okay.
I like my suitcase.
The kids are saying this shit's cool.
Suitcase. I like my suitcase. I have to go to school now. I like my suitcase. Suitcase.
First you will have lunch.
I like my suitcase. I have to go to school now. I like my suitcase. Suitcase.
Straight fire on that
You're
song.
going to be walking around singing that song yourself. But here's the funny thing about it, is it's kind of made people endearing to little Barron.
Yeah.
And people in the comments are going, oh, God, I caught myself like liking the family and endearing myself to him. So I think they released this to make fun of the Trumps, and it backfired, which I fucking love.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a happy little
Yeah,
kid. There's nothing to dislike about it.
They interviewed her. She was talking about how he spoke all these different languages and stuff.
Okay.
All right. So here, we haven't heard Barron talk, but these guys sure have. Wait till you guys crank this volume up on this one.
Okay, yeah, I think it was muted, actually. Okay. It says, say goodbye to civilization as we know it. All
Just
right.
play it. Yeah, don't go to any spoilers.
He's gonna make America great. He's got the drive. He won't hesitate.
There is misleading where it says search results for Barron Trump sings about his dad.
Yeah, so that's not real. That was a robot that was singing.
That is Barron Trump's image. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
So
But-
how did your music?
So you guys have it here? This whole couple is watching videos of Barron Trump singing
And
songs about his dad.
They thought that
Well,
was
they're
real.
searching for it on YouTube and stuff.
Okay, that's funny.
Go to the next video. I think I actually found the video for you. Here's Barron Trump's voice, in case you're wondering. So we have heard Barron sing.
That's a man, always keeps his word. He's done it before, he'll do it again. Haven't you heard? Promises made, promises kept. With him in charge, we're never misstepped. He's gonna make America great. He's got the drive, he won't hesitate. Across this land, from city to town.
You know the whole thing, you get the point. But how funny is that? I think that
Barron's a talented singer.
This Barron really singing songs about his dad, and they're just loading them up on their TV and watching them.
Just
thinking
loving
they're
it.
real.
Yeah, thinking he really likes his dad. He's a good kid.
You know, click on the comments there. And the next video kind of shows the comments. But he's clicking comments here.
Okay. He has a beautiful voice. I love this song and Baron Trump. I mean, these people are being funny, right?
I don't
They're
know.
not being
but
real, are they? I
even
love
look
this
at
song.
Look at the title of that. Go back up to the video. Look at the title. Baron Trump keeping promises. What the fuck?
It's the name of the song, Garrett.
So I kind of think that there's a chance that this was made by a bot, basically. And I think these comments are just by other bots leaving comments.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's kind of what I think is
that
happening
that
here.
would make some sense to me. This
Because there's a
one, I
weird
love this
thing-
comment. The love he has for his father is undeniable. Yes, Baron, your father will make America great again.
So
Dude,
either
it's hard
these
to
are
tell.
bunch
Are these
of-
bots or just people?
Are these grandparents is watching this?
Yeah. It's all 75-year-olds leaving these comments.
This needs to be a commercial. Nice voice, Baron.
Baron is amazing in every way. It's like, okay.
But there's a weird thing where if you go on Facebook anymore, there's this weird thing where there are bots making pictures and they don't make sense. But a lot of them have like religious stuff. It'd be like Jesus eating spaghetti or something. And the comments are all like, praise be to God.
Yeah, praise
And
Jesus.
yes. And
Bless the spaghetti.
And it's these bots finding out what creates the biggest clicks and comments.
Scary.
But it's really bots clicking it, leaving comments. So you're getting these really weird pictures now. And I think there's a chance that's what this is. But play the next one I sent you too.
But the bot would need to become great at making bots comment on it, so
I think it's different bots. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's tricking other bots.
yeah.
Because other bots are going, all right, we're looking for something that's got some religious imagery and has a lot of comments.
Yeah, so
And,
it's like a strange feedback cycle.
Yes.
Okay, should I play this?
Yeah, this just shows. I think it's that same thing, but they're just showing what we just kind of did. Is all of these comments.
Okay. Baron, not only smart and good looking like the President Trump and the First Lady, plus he have an amazing voice. Yeah, I mean, that seems like a
that's
bot.
weird English. Yeah. That was another one.
Forever great America.
This is weird.
God bless all the people.
God
bless America. For freedom and equality, Lincoln's passion.
Pause right there. This isn't written by a person.
Baron is
Lincoln. Go back a little bit. Talk about Lincoln's passion. Shit, like that's not written by a real person.
Oh yeah.
This is written by a.
Yeah, I think you're right. This
is
song is
write
written
me
by
a
a
song
bot.
about America and Trump, and it's just throwing random shit together.
Right. It would
God
like
bless
reference
America for
Lincoln.
freedom and equality. Lincoln's passion.
Yeah, an AI probably wrote this.
Freedom and equality, Lincoln's passion. For courage against invaders, Roosevelt's action. For unity and service, Kennedy's vision. For a beautiful dream, King's mission. For world peace, Reagan's smile.
Dang, yeah, the AI is gonna start doing some weird
It's
shit.
not funny, but I do think this is probably fooling a lot of people. How funny is that? My favorite video.
They just think Baron Trump's
It's the
this
grandparents arguing with the
auto-tune
lady.
singer.
But that is him singing songs about his dad.
Yeah, they just think, wow, he loves his dad. That is funny, dude. AI is gonna be such a strange thing.
Yep. All right, Nate, did we cut it or do we keep going?
I think we should end it. It's been an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it was a good show, dude.
Yep. Great seeing everybody.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything really to play us out. I think the Baron Trump stuff was good to play us
Yeah,
out.
that's
Right?
a good one. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
All
Thanks,
right, guys.
thanks
See you next
everybody for
weekend.
tuning
Week.
in.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see everybody next Monday.
See you guys.
Peace.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educate and entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in. Let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens.